Hello. Today, I hope it's a lot better day than yesterday. I had a couple suggestions from some of my supporters, and I'm going to give them a try. I got paint stripping, paint and rust stripping pieces for here. What I plan on doing is doing the flange all the way around, rust treating it, and put it on a primer or a rust encapsulator. Then what I'm going to do is bolt the fender to the car, and I'm either going to use this or I have Eastwood's drum sander to do the outside of the fender. Bolt it on, it'll be a lot more stable, and I'll be able to put a little pressure on it. So as usual, that's the plan, but it's always changing, so just stick in there and see what we end up doing. All right, thank you. I'm going to start hitting it right here in the front. Well, it looks like today may go a lot better than yesterday. Fingers crossed. The paint and rust removing discs work really nice. I'll never use the paint stripper again. Now I'm going to hit that flange with some Ospo. Okay, we're going to let that set for about a half hour. Then we're going to wipe it down and put some encapsulator on there. Okay, we're on the second fender. Self-etching epoxy primer for flange. Okay, we're going to let that dry a minute, and then we're going to put a second coat on. I don't know if I mentioned, but the last two fenders I did off camera. I didn't want to bore you. Okay, we're going to let that dry, and then we're going to hit it with some paint, because I may not be taking these back off once they go on. I might finish them right on the car. I'll show you how I'm going to do that in a few minutes. Okay, we have the self-etching epoxy primer on. I put 2 coats. Now I'm going to put 2 coats of gloss ultra cover paint and primer, a gray. Any color is good. I'm just going to paint the flange because, like I said, I may not be taking these fenders off again. You'll see what I mean, like I said, in a few moments. Okay, I'm going to let that gas off for about 15 minutes, and then I'm going to hit it again. It's dry and slow, I think because it's cooler and damp out. But I have the door open for ventilation, and I could hit it with the second coat now. I put a good wet coat on. I'll let that completely dry now, and then I'm going to put them on the car. I'll show you. I'm going to leave a space between the body and the fenders. That way I can work on them. And eventually when I'm painting, I could still paint, and paint will go down between the body and the fenders to get this area. And then I'll change it afterwards. Okay, after all the coats of primer and stuff, the weld nuts are all full. Their threads are full of primer and stuff. So I'm going to run the tap through it. 8 millimeter 1.25. And that way we won't have any problem when we're bolting on the fender. Gotta be careful not to go too far. Okay, they should accept the bolt nice and easy. Okay, all the holes on the passenger side are cleaned out. I'm only going to do the passenger side on camera today, and then I'll do the rest off camera because, I'll be repeating it. If you remember, I put 2 coats of epoxy self-etching primer on, then I put 2 coats of just gray paint. And the reason is because I may not be taking these fenders off again. Again, I'll show you a little bit further into the video. But for now, I'm going to rough sand the flange just so when I do paint it, it has something to stick to. Don't need much, just a little bit for adhesion. I'll do this to all the fenders on the flanges. Okay, we're going to put the driver's side fender on first. Or the passenger side front fender on first. Okay, here's what I got going on. Fender washers and longer bolts than I need for the fenders. I'll put this through the fender. And on the other side of the fender, I'm going to place 2 of these nuts. Then I'm going to screw it into there. So the distance between the 2 nuts is like 1/2 inch, maybe 5/8 of an inch. That should hold the fender away from the body. And it'll give me working room around it. And then when I paint it, there'll be that space I could get this flange and I could get the flange on the fender at the same time. So that's the plan, as usual. Let's see how it works out. And we're going to put the bolts in. And the first one is usually the hardest. I put the first bolt through the fender. It's right here. And then I'm going to put the 2 nuts on. It's going to be a little clumsy. We get it started. Okay, the first one started. Fender's in the right position. We're going to put another one in. Okay, we're going to get a second one in. These fender bolts aren't the easiest things, but they're not the craziest either. You can get them. I'm going to tighten them bolts up underneath the fenders now. Okay, now I'll show you how that looks from above, close up. See the gap where the nuts and bolts are. Now the fender is nice and solid, and as you can see, there's a gap between the body and the fender. So that way, I can leave the fender on there and eventually take them bolts out one or two at a time and put the original ones the right size back in. But now I know everything lines up, looks good. Now we're going to do the back one, then we're going to clean the paint off them. Okay, we're going to do like the front fender. We're going to slightly sand the flange so it will accept new paint when I'm painting everything. Just slightly, that's all it needs. We don't want to go down to bare metal. Okay, we're looking good. Time to mount this fender on. Same way as we did the other front one. Then we're going to strip them. Okay, we got everything ready. Let's start. By the way, in case you're wondering, the nuts I'm using are 3/8. They just fit over the 8mm bolt. Oh, I put it in the wrong hole. Gotta do that one over again. No wonder it went so easy. Okay, I started it off camera. I got it in the right hole now. I gotta adjust some of these holes. A couple of those fenders need to be opened up very slightly. So I'm gonna use this little deburring tool to open it up. Sure didn't need much. Let's check the next one. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3 or 4 to go. This fender's struggling. I'm struggling a lot more than I was with the other one. They're just off a little bit. This tool's a little sketchy, but it works. Okay, it looks like they're gonna have to get under for these. Okay, I got the ball tightened down there. I'm going to show you like I did the front one, the spacing. Then I'm going to get the barrel sander out and see if I can get the paint off these buggers. Okay, see the spacing? That way I'm not touching the body when I'm barrel sanding the fenders. And they're supported very strongly on there so I can put some pressure. This will look from the back. See the spacing? All right, I'm going to get that barrel sander hooked up and give it a shot. Okay, here we go. I get myself a seat. Oh, I didn't have the camera on for the front. Wish I did. Now I gotta crawl underneath it and just do around a bit. This product looks good. Some rust there where the taillight was. We'll take care of that. Put Ospo on the job. Wire brush it first, then we're going to put Ospo on the job. All right, now we're ready to move on to this one. Well, we got those two fenders stripped and bolted on, leaving the space between. So when we paint, we're getting down between both. We got some surface rust, nothing bad. Next thing is I'm going to hit it with a wire brush. And then after I hit it with a wire brush, I'm going to hit it with Ospo and call it a night. The Ospo will be on there for 24 hours. And then tomorrow I'll primer them up and do the other side. It took a lot longer than I expected, but jobs usually do. Okay, that's it for tonight. Enjoy your project. It's another little bit of a tough day, but not bad. That stripper works well, but it's heavy. It takes beating on you, but it's all right. But Ospo's on there. Gonna let it set overnight, and then tomorrow I'll epoxy primer them fenders. All right, come back tomorrow night. Hopefully there'll be another one. See you then. Garage looks a lot cleaner with the lights out. Man, this place is a mess. Can't wait till we clean it up and put the paint on this bugger. All right, you guys have a good night. See you tomorrow.